like many others did. And in 1867, my husband, John Frank Rollins, and his business partner purchased all the land on the island, with the exception of about 20 acres. And we built a hotel. We started a hotel, and we hosted many, many people here on the island. And it was a wonderful time. However, myself being a devout Episcopalian, decided that I would concentrate my efforts on starting a place of worship here on the island. And my husband was in full support of this endeavor. In time, not too long after that, my husband John and his good friend Charles Home and our nephew, Dr. Francis Weston, were named trustees of the First Episcopal Congregation on the island. My part in this, of course, my influence was only that of however a wife might sway her husband. Regrettably, excuse me, I have trouble sometimes on the island because of allergies. But regrettably, in the 1870s, we ran into some financial losses, and that required us to have to sell the land. However, I was no less resolved to make sure that this Episcopal presence continued here. We loved this island, and we had put considerable investments in its development. Now let's see, how did it go? Well, the problem was we didn't want that Episcopal presence to go away, and fortunately, the new buyer, Mr. William Stewart, and his family were in full agreement on this. They considered this a goal that they wanted to do as well. I knew that this island is a perfect and secure, serene sanctuary for a church, and thankfully they were also in agreement. Now, although I was with my husband, a part of those that did start the First Episcopal congregation here on the island, the actual naming of this church and the building of the church was done by someone else. However, I need to step in here and tell you this much. I died in 1906, and Bishop Weed was the bishop that actually led the funeral service here in this building, in this church. And I think you might be aware of, you've heard of this name Weed, because Camp Weed was named in his honor and memory. So I'm sure many of you have been to Camp Weed. As I said, we helped to start the First Episcopal congregation. However, this building itself was a realization of Mr. Stewart's mother, Ellen Stewart,